Yo, what up guys, Big 5D here, and there seem to be some misunderstanding or misconception some people do have right now regarding this new champion that is coming into the game, Walking Tomb Dreng. I did make a video yesterday about it, talk about his skills, his ability, talk about whether I'll be skipping the fusion or going for it. Of course, I'm going to be going for it. And I also said something at the end about how I'm going to be not replacing him with my current HP born champion I currently use for Spider or Hydra because of his ability to get weak hits on Spider 25. And one or two comments have alluded to the fact that I'm wrong about this A2 skill right there, and so I had to go back to the drawing board, do some tests and find out and come back with my findings. That's what I'm about to show you right now. So what are they talking about? This skill that says the HP bond that he places on Spider or any enemies, this debuff cannot be resisted. So some people have a misunderstanding about this debuff. So that's what is about this language right there. Debuff cannot be resisted. So that's why I wanted to clarify, make sure I show the test so everybody sees actually how this plays out in the game. He's not the first champion to have this debuff cannot be resisted. There are champions already in raid that has this on their skills, right? The one I'm going to be testing out for you is two champions that have this debuff that cannot be resisted. I'll be testing out Tia the Tomb Dreng. That's she does Hex on her own, and then I'll also be testing out Elenara. She also places HP bond with that A1. So I'm testing two champions so we see how it works against affinity. So my argument, or what I explained in the comments, is that when a skill says debuff cannot be resisted, this simply means that this champion does not need accuracy to place that debuff. That's all it means. Nothing else. So if you try to push it further, you get it wrong. So debuff cannot be resisted means this champion does not need any accuracy to place this debuff on champions. Now, in another aspect of raid, affinity, magic, force, spirit, affinity, they all have their advantages against each other and disadvantages. That advantage or disadvantages does not get overridden by this skill. So let's not just talk about it. That's the explanation. That's the point I'm trying to make in this test. That when this champion, a spirit affinity champion, comes against Spider 25, which is what? A magic affinity, this champion will get a weak hit. Most of the time, a very high chance of getting a weak hit. So when that happens, the champions or the spiderlings he get weak hits on will not get HP bomb placed on them. So that's the point I made, and now we're going to put it to the test and show you how it works. So the first champion, or the first test I'm going to be doing, is the one in with, what's her name now? Tia the Tomb Angel. I just put some trash gear on her, so coming to the lowest level of Hydra, of Doom Tower, and actually test it out. She's currently level 60, I guess, but not fully ascended. Yes, so she's a force affinity champion, right? Currently I want to take her against a spirit affinity enemy, and I found a good set of spirit affinity enemies. We are there. I think it's the third difficulty right here. Yes, so they are all spirit affinity, at least in the last stage. So let me quickly, who do I put along with her that will just not nuke the waves? Let's just leave her alone in there and let's see what happens. So when Tia the Tomb Angel comes against spirit affinity, if you do not know what this champion does, let me quickly show the skill that we're going to be testing. That A1, right? It says she has a 75% chance of placing Hex debuff for 5 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted. So it's the same language like this other Tomb guy. They both have Tomb in their name. So the debuff cannot be resisted also. So let's test out if this means against spirit, can she place this Hex? That's all I wanted to test in this one. So those who already know the answer to this, know. But I just wanted to put this video, this short one, out there for those who are not quite sure of how this new champion is going to work against magic, so they can know how it's going to work. So it's not a debuff or master class or anything. I just wanted to do a quick test to show it, so I don't keep repeating the same thing over and over again in the comments. Now, these two guys are negative affinity right there. These two dogs, or whatever you call them. Is that Drake? I think it's the small Draco. So if I use the A1 targeting this person, remember this skill is a single target skill, right? Attacks 2 times at random, or you can attack 2 people at random. So I'm looking to see if to attack this one and place the hex. If I get a weak hit, he will not place the hex. If I get a strong hit, that means no weak hit, I don't see any white numbers or red numbers, it will place the hex. So I'm not saying it is 100% that this will not place HP bond, no. I'm saying that if you get a weak hit, this hex will not place. Let me hit. Is that the A1 I used? I was too fast. I didn't quite see that. Let's restart it again. Let me replay. All right. On the A1, attacks 2 times at random, 75% chance of placing hex for 5 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted. Each critical hit decreases the cooldown of this. Yes, and also this is the passive that is placing the True Fear. 50% chance of placing True Fear debuff on enemies for 1 turn when an enemy loses 30% of their max HP. So I guess that's why he places the fear. So it's not the A1 that's placing the fear. This is the passive that's placing the fear. So the main one I wanted to see is the hex. It's the hex I'm looking out for. So if I see a weak hit, that's a weak hit of 213. No hex placed right there. Maybe I'll replay it in the video right here so you can check it out again. So yes, that's a weak hit right there. So that's what I wanted to test in this video. If I do a weak hit on the back one there, it placed on the front one, there is no hex placed. Despite the fact that the A1 clearly says this debuff cannot be resisted. So that's the point I was trying to make. Now we are done with the test for Tia. Let me show you how it works for Eleonora, because she has HP burn. So I think that will be a better comparison, because this champion, I keep forgetting his name, the Walking Tomb Dreng, his HP burn is the skill that we're talking about, is actually his HP burn skill. So let me go to the spider and test out a spider champion or a HP burn champion. Now, the champion I want to try is a magic affinity champion. I'm going against force affinity because it's negative affinity, right? So if I head over to stage 3 of the spider, which is a force affinity boss, and I'm trying 2 magic champions, the main one that I want to try out is Eleonora, and the skill that we're trying out is this one that says attacks 1 enemy, places HP burn debuff for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted. So this skill looks similar to Dreng, right? So let's try if she can place HP burn on her A1 despite the fact that it is a force affinity when she gets a weak hit. So if I hit start right there, RIP to my 8 energy. Free to play. We don't want to waste energy, but for science we will waste energy. Alright, I put it on 1 speed. Now, the person we're interested in checking out is Eleonora. I don't care what Apothecary is doing. So, Apothecary is still taking turns. All right. It's her turn. Come on, right. I'm about to use the A1 right now from Eleonora. If she gets a weak hit, she will not place this HP burn on any of them. It's a single target skill. Attach 1 enemy, so I'm going to place it on the boss. If you see a HP burn on the boss, it's because she did not get a weak hit. So if I hit right now, that's HP burn. She did not get a weak hit. If she gets a weak hit, you see it clearly saying a weak hit. So she does not need accuracy to place it, but she does need to not get a weak hit for it to be placed. So I'm waiting for the boss to take a turn. All right, so she gets a turn again. I'll try this A1 again. Currently, the HP burn is currently on 1 turn. Do I do it on the boss again or another enemy? Let me try it again on the boss. Hopefully this time she gets a weak hit. It's the weak hit I want to see happen. She still did not get a weak hit. What's happening? She's been lucky, extremely lucky this time. Come on, speed up to your turn again. So I just brought in Apothecary here so the run doesn't end too quick before I finish the test. Come on, take a turn, take a turn. Let me try it on one of the spiderlings. If she's not, she's gonna kill them. That's why I don't want to do the spiderling. Let me do the boss again. No, he has 2 turns. Weak hits. Right there. No HP bomb placed on this spiderling. So when you get a weak hit, you will not place your debuff. That's the test. That's the test. If you, or when you get a weak hit, you will not place, you will not land your debuffs. So I did this test on a magic affinity champion. I did this test on a force affinity champion. Now, when it comes to a spirit affinity champion on Spider 25, this dude will not place his HP burn on weak hits. So that's why I still say he's good at Spider 20. I remain on that level. He's not going, they're not going to be resisting his debuffs on Spider 20. There, it's the same affinity, right? So that's the perfect place for him. So Spider 20 or Spider 24, these are the 2 places that he will shine. 24, but when you come to 25, he is weak affinity and he will get weak hits, and not all the spiderlings will get that HP burn. So I guess if I did not do anything in the test correctly, let me know in the comments, but I hope it's clear now for 1 or 2 people. Even in Discord, somebody did send me a message asking about it. That's why I wanted to put it out there, that when a skill says cannot be resisted, it doesn't mean that you will automatically place it on every champion in Raid Shadow Legends, all enemies. No, it means that you don't need accuracy, yes, but it means that you still need to deal with the affinity. If it's a negative affinity, you will not land, most likely you will not land your debuff. So what's the percentage chance of you not landing your debuff? Negative affinity, I forget, so I'll put it on the screen. I'll search it and put it on the screen right there to show you the percentage of you not landing your debuff against weak affinities in raid. So that's it. You guys let me know what you think about this one. It's just a short one, still a continuation on this dude that we are expecting, still saving my resources in raid. I don't want to make this one drag it out any longer. I just wanted to put this one out there so everybody knows what they expect from a champion who cannot be resisted. For those who don't know though. All right, me, I wasn't sure of it because I've never used a champion that has a skill that, you know, could not be resisted, right? I've never really used it on my entire game, but I just knew that fact that you don't need accuracy, but you still need to deal with weak affinity. So me doing this test is also a learning experience for me to confirm my thoughts about what it meant to have a skill that could not be resisted. So now that I've confirmed it, I can now boldly say it anywhere that you don't need accuracy, but you still need to deal with affinity. All right, later guys.